It was 3:42 on the Tuesday after my heart surgery when my son told the nurse in the corridor that I was half gone. I had been awake for maybe 20 minutes. My eyes were closed because the fluorescent light over the bed was making my head split, and because the nurse who had checked on me at 3:30 had been gentle and had whispered, "Just rest, agape mu, just rest." She had said that last part in Greek. Marisol Reyes was her name. She was Cuban-American. She had picked up the agape mu somewhere in 12 years of working a hospital where half the patients are old Greek widows who came to Tarpon Springs from Simi after the war. So my eyes were closed. Andrew came in at 3:41. I heard him because he wears the kind of shoes that announce a man's arrival before his face does. He stood by the bed for about 30 seconds. He did not say anything to me. Then he stepped back into the corridor with Marisol. "Look, she's halfway gone already. I can see it. We need to start moving on the trust paperwork before this gets worse." I am 73 years old. I had just had 4 arteries replaced, and my eyes were closed, but I was not gone. Marisol did not answer him. I want you to understand something about Marisol Reyes that I did not understand on Tuesday afternoon at 3:42, with my eyes closed and my chest stitched together and the morphine in my arm doing what morphine does. I did not understand it then because I did not yet know her well enough. Marisol had been a hospice nurse before cardiac. She had spent 11 years sitting with old people who were actually halfway gone. She knew, the way a woman who has done that work for 11 years knows, the difference between a patient who is fading and a patient who has her eyes closed because the light hurts. She knew by 3:42 on that Tuesday that I was the second one. She did not tell my son that. She said in her professional voice, "Mr. Dimitriou, your mother is recovering well. The cardiac team is very pleased. Let's not discuss anything until she's been off morphine for at least 48 hours, all right? That's protocol." Andrew said, Sure, of course." He came back in. He sat in the chair. He took out his phone. He did not look at me. I kept my eyes closed.
My name is Virginia Dimitriou. I was born Virginia Anastasiou in Tarpon Springs, Florida, on the 8th of September, 1952, in the same hospital where they would, 72 years later, replace 4 of my arteries. My mother, Eleni, came over from the island of Simi in 1948. She was 22. She came on a boat with 3 other women from her village and the man who would be my father, a sponge diver named Konstantinos Anastasiou, who had been in the Greek Navy in the war and who had decided, when the war ended, that the future of his family was not going to be in Simi, but in a small town on the Gulf of Mexico that another diver had told him about, where the sponge industry was American and the church was Greek. You have to understand, I am going to use some Greek words because I cannot tell this story without them. Yaya means grandmother. Papu means grandfather. Moraki means little one, sweetheart, child. Agapimu means my love. If you are not Greek, do not worry. I will translate as we go. My Yaya, who I never met, stayed in Simi. She is buried there. My mother never went back.
I met Stavros Dimitriou at the St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Cathedral on Pinellas Avenue in 1971. I was 19. He was 23. His family had come over from Simi in 1948 on the boat behind ours. We were married on the first Sunday after Pascha in 1973 by Father Anthimus in the same cathedral my mother had been a founding member of. I wore my mother's wedding dress. The reception was at the Sponge Exchange Hall on Kennedy Boulevard, and 340 people came. Stavros was a sponge diver for the first 9 years of our marriage. Then his father and my father bought a third boat together. Well, half a boat. The other half belonged to the Pappas family across the canal, and Stavros took over the bookkeeping for the partnership at the age of 32. He was good at it. He had always been good at numbers. In 1984, we bought a strip mall on US 19 with money the partnership had been saving for a third boat that the partnership had decided, in a meeting at the Cathedral Hall, was not worth the risk in a year that had been bad for sponges. That strip mall had 4 units. That strip mall is the reason I am alive today. Andreas was born on the 11th of October, 1981. We named him after Stavros' father. He was a beautiful boy. Black curls, long eyelashes. The Greek mothers at coffee hour after liturgy used to fight over who got to hold him. When he was 22, in 2003, he came home from the University of Florida for Christmas and told us at the dinner table on the day after Christmas that he was changing his name to Andrew. Just Andrew, not Andreas. I want you to understand. This is the first thing I want you to understand about my son. He did not change it because he was confused about who he was. He changed it because his roommate at the fraternity had told him, more than once, that Andreas was a name that sounded like a busboy. Stavros said at the dinner table, "Andreas, your name is your grandfather's name." Andrew said, "Dad, Papu is dead. I'm trying to get a job." Stavros put his fork down. He did not eat anything else that night. He never called our son Andrew. He called him Andreas until the day he died. And Andreas, Andrew, kept correcting him every time, in the same patient tone of voice my son still uses with me. I want to tell you about my brother-in-law, Nico. Nico Demetrio was Stavros' older brother. He had a sponge boat of his own, a small one, and a house on Tarpon Avenue that had been in the family since 1953. He had 2 sons, my nephews, Petros and Manolis. Petros became a teacher in Clearwater. Manolis became, what is the word in English? Manolis became a man who had ideas. In 1995, when Nico was 64, he had a stroke, a small one. He recovered most of the way, but for about 8 months, he was confused some days and not confused other days, and Manolis, who was 31 at the time and had not held a steady job in 4 years, moved into the house on Tarpon Avenue to help. By the end of those 8 months, the house was in Manolis' name, so was the boat, so were 2 bank accounts that had belonged to my mother-in-law. Nico died in 2002. The house had been sold. Manolis lived in a condo in Clearwater. Petros did not speak to his brother for the rest of his life. Stavros watched all of it. He did not say anything at the time. He remembered. In 2017, when our son had been calling himself Andrew for 14 years and had married a woman from Tampa named Laura Patterson and had moved to Tampa permanently and was visiting us once every 6 weeks instead of every Sunday, Stavros said to me at breakfast one morning, "Virginia, I am going to do something. I am going to ask you not to ask me what it is until I tell you." I said, "All right, Agapimu." Stavros went that morning to the office of Anna Karyaninas on Kennedy Boulevard in Tampa. Anna had been our family lawyer since 1998. Her father had been our family lawyer before her. Her father had handled the strip mall purchase in '84. He went there one morning a month for the next 11 months. He did not tell me what he was doing. In December of 2017, he came home from one of those mornings and said, "Virginia, it is done. Anna has the papers. If anything ever happens to me, you call her." I said, "Stavros, what is done?" He said, "Nico was a warning, Agapimu. I will not have my brother's story be ours." He kissed me on the forehead. He poured me a coffee. He never explained more. Stavros had a stroke on the 14th of August, 2021, on a Saturday afternoon, while he was sitting on our back porch on Kennedy Boulevard, reading the Tampa Bay Times and drinking the kind of small Greek coffee that he made for himself every afternoon at 4. He was 69. He died at Tarpon Springs General Hospital, in the same hospital, in fact, 3 rooms down the corridor from where I had my heart surgery this Tuesday, at 11:17 the next morning, with me holding his hand, and Father Theodoros Papas on the other side of the bed, reading from the akathist. Stavros never woke up. He had not had time to tell me what was in the papers Anna had drawn up. I want to be honest about something here. I should have called Anna in August of 2021. I should have called her in September. By February, when I went to her office to settle the estate, and she said, in that careful Anna voice, "Virginia, there is more. We will get to it when the time comes." By February, I should have asked. I did not ask her what more. I think now I did not ask because I did not want to know. I had buried my husband in August. I did not have the strength in February to find out he had also been preparing me for something else. I let it sit. Anyway, for 4 years, I let it sit.
I have to tell you what those 4 years were like, because you have to understand the woman who was lying in the hospital bed on Tuesday afternoon, with her eyes closed. For the first 6 months, I drank too much wine. Sophia Papas, who runs the Greek bakery on Kennedy Boulevard and who has been my best friend since 1968, came over twice a week with spanakopia and the kind of conversation that does not require you to answer. In the second year, I went back to liturgy. Father Theodoros, who is Sophia's brother-in-law and who had buried Stavros, did not say anything about my 8 months of absence. He just put his hand on my shoulder the first Sunday I came back and said, "Virginia, the cathedral missed you." In the third year, Andrew started visiting less. I want to be fair to him. There was a wife. There was a job in commercial construction in Tampa. He had stopped going to the Greek festival. The Sunday liturgy was no longer in his calendar. He had drifted, the way American children of Greek parents drift, by inches, until you wake up one Sunday and your son has not been to your house in 11 weeks. In the fourth year, in May of this year, my cardiologist told me my arteries were 68% occluded. That is when Andrew started visiting again. He was very attentive. I should mention this because it is the kind of thing you only see clearly looking back. Andrew started visiting in May, the same month my cardiologist scheduled my surgery for September. The same month, by no coincidence at all, that I told him at Sunday dinner that I had reviewed Stavros's old will at Sophia's suggestion and was going to be calling Anna Karaganyas to see what needs updating. I did not call Anna. I forgot to call Anna. I had a cardiac workup and a stress test and a pre-op consultation and a meeting with the anesthesiologist, and the surgery date got moved twice, and I told myself I would call Anna after the surgery when my head was clear. Andrew called Anna for me. I did not know that until much later. He told me in June that he had spoken to a friend of his at a financial services firm in Tampa who had recommended that we simplify my finances in case something goes wrong with the surgery. He brought a folder. The folder had 4 documents in plastic sleeves, color-tabbed in pink, with a sticky note on top that said, "For Mom to sign," in Laura's handwriting. I signed 2 of them. I did not sign the other 2. The 2 I signed were boring. A change of address with my insurance carrier, a new beneficiary form for a small annuity I had taken out in 2015, which Andrew said needed to be updated because the original beneficiary, Stavros, was deceased. I signed the annuity form. I named Andrew. He had, after all, been Stavros's contingent beneficiary on it from the start. There was no fraud in that one. The 2 I did not sign, well, let me explain. The third document was a quitclaim deed. It transferred my interest in the strip mall on US 19 to a Florida limited liability company named Demetrio Family Holdings, LLC, of which Andrew Demetrio was, the document said, the sole managing member. The fourth document was a power of attorney, durable, springing. It granted Andrew full authority over my finances, my medical decisions, and my legal decisions in the event that I became unable to manage my own affairs due to age, illness, or post-surgical complication. I read both of those at the kitchen table while Andrew was on his phone in the living room. I said, "Andrew, I want to think about these. I'll bring them to my next appointment." He said, "Sure, Mom. No rush." He took the folder. He did not push. He should have pushed. The fact that he did not push was the first thing that made me wonder.
The surgery was on the morning of the 23rd of September. They put me under at 6:58 in the morning. I came up in the recovery room, for the first time, briefly, at 1:22 in the afternoon. They moved me to the cardiac ICU at 3:15. Quad bypass. 4 arteries. They take vein from your leg and they sew it onto your heart. It is not romantic. It is plumbing. I was in the ICU for 2 days. The morphine ran the whole time. Consciousness came in flashes. The flashes were not always in order. One of the flashes, and I am only telling you this because it matters later, one of the flashes was Marisol Reyes on the first night, sitting in the chair next to my bed for what must have been an hour. She was reading a book. I do not know what book. I closed my eyes again before I could see the cover. Another flash was Laura, my daughter-in-law, standing at the foot of the bed. She was wearing scrubs. I had forgotten that she was a nurse. She was looking at the chart. She was not looking at me. She did not say hello. She did not touch my foot. She put the chart back. She left. The Tuesday afternoon I told you about, when my son said I was halfway gone, that was the 3rd day after the surgery. I was off the morphine pump by then. I was on oral pain medication. My head was, by post-Cabbage G standards, almost clear. Andrew did not know that. He thought, because I had been confused on Sunday night when he visited and called me by Laura's name twice by accident, that I was still confused on Tuesday afternoon. I was not confused on Tuesday afternoon. My eyes were closed because the light hurt, and because Marisol had told me to rest, and because I was trying to remember if I had paid the property tax on the strip mall last quarter. When I heard Andrew say halfway gone, well, the strange thing is that I did not feel angry. I have thought about this a lot since then. You would think a mother would feel angry. The mother in the bed, the son in the doorway. I did not feel angry. What I felt was something, what is the word in English? What I felt was something like relief. Because for almost a year, I had been telling myself that the way Andrew was acting was just the way modern children act, that I was being old-fashioned, that I was being suspicious for no reason. And on Tuesday afternoon, at 3:42, my son confirmed for me that I had been right. Marisol came back into the room at 4:15. Andrew had left at 4:10 to go meet Laura for what he told the front desk was an emergency. I did not know what the emergency was. I have an idea now. Marisol checked my vitals. She wrote on the chart. She sat down in the chair next to the bed. She said, "Mrs. Demetrio, I'm going to ask you something. You can tell me to mind my own business." I opened my eyes. "Okay. How awake have you been today?" I said, "Marisol, I have been awake all afternoon." She did not look surprised. She looked at the door. The door was closed. "Mrs. Demetrio, I want you to know something. The conversation that happened in the corridor at 3:41 is in my notes. I wrote down what your son said. I wrote down what I said back. I wrote down the time. I wrote down that you were lying with your eyes closed and that I had no way of knowing, at the time, whether you were conscious. I wrote it down because I have been a nurse for 15 years, Agapimu, and I have learned to write things down when a son says certain things in a corridor."
I did not answer for a long moment. I said, Marisol, I need you to call my priest. Father Theodoros Pappas got the message from the cathedral office at 5:12 that afternoon. He was at the hospital by 6. He came in through the side entrance. He was carrying his black bag, the one he carries to home communions, and his stole was in the bag, which meant he had not yet decided whether this was a hospital visit or a sacramental visit. He sat down in the chair Marisol had been in. He said, Virginia, what is going on? I told him. I told him about the corridor, about Andrew, the folder in June, the quitclaim deed, the power of attorney. About Stavros in 2017, going to Anna Karyaninis once a month for 11 months and never explaining what he was doing. I told him about Nico, about Manolis, about the house on Tarpon Avenue that had been sold. When I finished, Father Theodoros sat for a long time. He is a careful man. He had been Stavros's confessor for 19 years. He had sat in a lot of rooms with a lot of bad news. He said, Virginia, I knew about the papers. I said, what? He said, Stavros told me, in confession, in November of 2017, that he had finished. He did not tell me what he had finished. He told me it was for you. He asked me, Father Theodoros said, if I would do one thing for him, if anything ever happened. He asked me to make sure you called Anya Karyanides. That was all. He did not say what was at Anya's office. He said Anya would explain. He did not want me to know. I said, Father, I have not called Anya in 4 years. He said, I know, Virginia. I know. I should have called you a year ago. I should have called you on the first anniversary of his death. I should have. I did not because I did not know what I would be calling you about. He was very specific. Anya would explain. Father Theodoros would not. I closed my eyes. I opened them again. I said, Father, will you call Anya for me tonight? He said, Virginia, I am going to call her right now. He stepped into the corridor. He was on the phone for about 11 minutes. I could not hear what he was saying, but I could hear the rhythm of his voice, and the rhythm was the rhythm of a man explaining something carefully to a woman who was already, on her end of the line, opening a file that had been waiting for 4 years. When Father Theodoros came back in, he sat down. Right. He said, Virginia, Anya is driving over from Tampa right now. She will be here in about an hour. Anna Karyaninis arrived at Tarpon Springs General Hospital at 7:46 on Tuesday evening. She was wearing what she always wears, a charcoal pantsuit, low heels, the same gold cross her father had given her at her law school graduation in 1993. She was carrying a leather portfolio. The portfolio had a string tie around it. The string tie was the thing I noticed first, because I had not seen a portfolio with a string tie since I was a girl, helping my mother bring envelopes to the bank in 1964. She came in, she closed the door, she sat down in the chair. She said, Virginia, I have been waiting 8 years for this conversation. She put the portfolio on the rolling tray table. She untied the string. She said, Stavros came to my office for the first time on the 17th of January, 2017. He came every 4th Wednesday for 11 months. He had decided, after the death of his brother Nico in 2002 and the loss of the family house to your nephew Manolis, that he was not going to allow what happened to his brother to happen to you. I said, Anna, what is in the portfolio? She said, an irrevocable spousal trust, a revocation of all prior powers of attorney, and a civil action that I have been authorized to file in Pinellas County Circuit Court since the date of Stavros's death. A civil action? I said. Against who? Anna looked at me. She said, Stavros did not name a defendant in 2017. He named a circumstance. He gave me authority in writing to file the action against any person who attempted, after his death, to remove assets from this trust or to obtain power of attorney over you. He gave me, let me be specific, 8 years of standing authority. He renewed it every year in writing at our annual review. He renewed it every year. Every year. Until until 2021. The last renewal was dated April 14, 2021, 4 months before he died. He had not yet had the stroke, but he had been reading, the way Stavros read, things in the news about elderly Greek widows in Florida being targeted by their adult children, and he had asked me in that meeting whether the standing authority survived him. I told him it did. I said, Anna. Stavros knew. She said, Virginia. Stavros knew in 2017 he has been protecting you for 8 years. I did not cry. I want to tell you that I was sitting in a hospital bed 3 days after they cracked my chest open, and a woman I had not seen in 4 years was telling me my husband had been 3 steps ahead of my son for 8 years, and I did not cry. Greek widows do not cry in public.
Anna opened the portfolio. She took out a sheet of paper. It was 3 paragraphs long. It was in Stavros's handwriting. She slid it across the rolling tray. I want you to understand what Stavros's handwriting looked like. He wrote in capital letters, all of them, because he had learned to write in Greek school in Simi in 1955, and his father had told him that Greek men write in capitals because that is how the inscriptions on the church icons are written, and Stavros had never let go of it. The 3 paragraphs were in capitals. The first paragraph said that he, Stavros Dimitriou of Tarpon Springs, Florida, was writing this letter to his wife Virginia in case he was not alive when it was needed. The second paragraph said that Anna Karianis had been retained to protect the family's holdings against the kind of son their nephew Manolis had been to his father Nico. The third paragraph said, Agapimou, if you are reading this, I am gone, and Andreas has done something. He is still our son. He was a good boy once, but he is doing something now. Anna will handle it. I am sorry I did not tell you. Stavros, April 14th, 2021. I read it 3 times. I looked up. I said, Anna, what did Andrew do?
Anna said, Andrew filed a petition for emergency guardianship in Hillsborough County Circuit Court at 1:53 this afternoon. Hillsborough? Tampa, where he lives, not where you live. Florida law allows a petition to be filed in the county of the petitioner's residence under certain circumstances. Andrew filed under those circumstances. The petition alleges that you are post-surgically incapacitated, that you have been demonstrating cognitive decline for the past 18 months, and that immediate guardianship is required to manage your assets, including, she looked at her notes, real property on US 19 in Pinellas County, a homestead on Anclote Boulevard, and 3 brokerage accounts at a firm in Tampa. I said, Anna, I have been demonstrating cognitive decline for 18 months. She said, according to your son's affidavit, yes. Anna, I balance my checkbook every Friday. She said, Virginia, I know. The petition is fraudulent on its face. The supporting affidavit is signed by your daughter-in-law, Laura Dimitriou, RN, who lists herself as a healthcare professional who has personally observed your decline. It will be defeated. The question is not whether it will be defeated. The question is what happens between now and then. She paused, because the petition triggered an automatic temporary guardianship hearing for tomorrow morning at 10. Your son has filed for emergency control of your finances starting at noon. I did not know on Tuesday afternoon, when my son said I was halfway gone, that he had filed papers in Tampa that same day at 1:53. I know now that what he was doing in the corridor at 3:41 was checking on the status of a petition that had been filed 2 hours earlier. The emergency he left for at 4:10, that was a meeting with the Tampa lawyer who had drafted the petition. And the halfway gone was not idle cruelty. It was, let me find the right word, it was confirmation. He was confirming for himself that the petition would stick. Anna said, "Virginia, we have until 10 tomorrow morning to file an opposition. I have already drafted it. It is in the portfolio. I need your signature. I need it to be witnessed by a healthcare professional who can attest to your cognitive capacity. And I need an affidavit from a neutral third party who has interacted with you in the last 72 hours and who can testify under oath that you are not exhibiting the signs of cognitive decline that your son's petition alleges." I said, "Anna, Marisol Reyes." Anna said, "Marisol, your nurse?" I said, "She wrote it down. The conversation in the corridor. She wrote it down." Anna sat very still for a long moment. She said, "Virginia, why did your nurse write that down?"
I told her about Marisol's notes. Anna stood up. She walked to the door. She opened it. She said in her professional voice into the corridor, "Excuse me, could the charge nurse please ask Marisol Reyes to step into Mrs. Dimitriou's room when she has a moment?" Marisol came in 2 minutes later. Anna introduced herself. She explained in 3 sentences what the situation was. She asked Marisol whether the notes from 3:41 that afternoon were entered in the patient chart. Marisol said, "They are." Anna said, "Marisol, would you be willing to provide a sworn affidavit tonight attesting that Mrs. Dimitriou was responsive, oriented, and conversational at 4:15 this afternoon?" Marisol said, "I would." She did not hesitate. She said, "I have been waiting 9 years for someone to ask me that question. Do you know how many old Greek women I have watched have things taken from them in this hospital by sons who came in for an hour and made decisions in the corridor? Yes, I will sign whatever you need." Anna said, "Tonight." Marisol said, "Tonight." Anna sat back down. She opened her laptop on the rolling tray. She said, "Virginia, we are going to be here for a few hours." We were there until 11:47 that night. Anna typed, Marisol dictated. I signed 3 documents. Father Theodoros stood as witness on 2 of them. The hospital chaplain, a Methodist woman named Reverend Holmes, who I had never met before, was the witness on the 3rd, because Anna wanted a non-Orthodox witness on at least 1 document to remove any appearance of religious coordination. At 11:50, Anna closed the laptop. She said, "Virginia, tomorrow morning at 10, my associate Christopher Morales will be in front of Judge Brennan in Hillsborough County Circuit Court. He will present the opposition, the affidavits, and a counterpetition. The counterpetition asks the court to dismiss your son's filing with prejudice and to refer the matter to the Florida Bar for review of the attorney who drafted it." Refer? For review, possibly for discipline. Drafting an emergency guardianship petition based on a fraudulent affidavit is not a small thing in Florida. And Andrew? Anna looked at her hands. She said, "Virginia? Andrew himself has not committed a crime that I can prosecute today. The fraudulent affidavit was signed by Laura. Andrew signed his own affidavit, but his statements are vaguer, and a defense attorney would argue that he was relying on his wife's clinical assessment." So Laura. Yes. I said. And the trust? The trust is intact. It has been intact since 2017. Andrew never had access to any of it. I closed my eyes. I felt, for the first time in 11 months, that I was breathing. Anna left at midnight. Father Theodoros stayed another half hour.
Marisol came back at 12:45 with a cup of tea and a piece of buttered toast. She said, "Mrs. Demetrio, I'm off shift in 20 minutes. I want you to know, Catherine, the night charge, has been briefed. She knows your son is not allowed in this room without me or Catherine present. She knows your daughter-in-law is not allowed in this room at all. The order is in the chart." I said, "Marisol, thank you." She said, "Mrs. Demetrio, I am Cuban. My grandmother lost her house in Camagüey to her brother's son in 1963. Some stories are the same in any language." She left. I lay there in the dark with the cup of tea getting cold on the rolling tray and the piece of toast uneaten because my throat would not work properly, and I thought about Stavros. I thought about him in 2017, going to Anna's office once a month for 11 months, not telling me anything, drinking small Greek coffees with her in the morning, and coming home and not telling me. I thought about him on the back porch on the 14th of August, 2021, with the Tampa Bay Times still on his lap when the paramedics arrived. You have to understand, he had been planning this for 8 years, and he had not been able to tell me. That is what loving a Greek wife looks like sometimes. Wednesday morning at exactly 10 o'clock, Anna's associate Christopher Morales walked into Hillsborough County Circuit Court and presented the opposition. Judge Brennan, a 68-year-old former family court judge who had been hearing guardianship petitions in Tampa since the year I was widowed, read the opposition for 11 minutes. She read the affidavits. She looked at Andrew. She said, on the record, "Mr. Demetrio, your mother's nurse states under oath that your mother was conversational and oriented 8 hours after the petition you filed alleged that she was incapacitated. Your wife, who signed the supporting clinical affidavit, has not visited your mother in person since Sunday night. Your wife's nursing license is in pediatrics, not in geriatrics, and she has no documented clinical relationship with your mother. The petition is dismissed, with prejudice." She turned to Anna's associate. "Mr. Morales, your counter-petition for referral to the Florida bar is granted. The matter will be referred to disciplinary counsel by close of business today." Andrew was not in the room. He had sent his Tampa lawyer. The Tampa lawyer, Christopher told me later, did not say anything during the hearing. He did not need to. The Tampa lawyer had read the affidavits in the hallway at 9:45 and had, by his own quiet calculation, decided that this was not a hill he was willing to die on. He left the courthouse at 10:28. He resigned from Andrew's case the same afternoon.
I was discharged from Tarpon Springs General on Saturday morning, the 27th of September, 4 days after the hearing. Sophia Pappas drove me home. Sophia is 68. She has been driving the same 1998 Buick LeSabre since her husband Theo died in 2014. The Buick has 240,000 miles on it. The interior smells like the bakery on Kennedy Boulevard. She did not ask me about Andrew on the drive. She asked me instead about my recovery, about the doctor, about when I could come back to liturgy, about whether she needed her to bring spanakopita on Sunday, or whether I would prefer something with fewer onions. When we pulled into my driveway on Kennedy Boulevard, Sophia turned off the engine and sat for a minute. She said, "Virginia, I have been your friend for 57 years. I want to ask you something." "Yes." She said, "Did Stavros tell you what he was doing in 2017? I said, "No." She said, "He told me in 2018. He told me at the bakery one Tuesday afternoon after liturgy. He made me promise not to tell you. He said you would be all right. He said he had taken care of it." She looked at me. "I should have told you." I said, "Sophia, he asked you not to. You kept your word." Sophia helped me into the house. She made me sit in Stavros's chair on the back porch. She put a blanket over my legs. She made me a small Greek coffee,
the kind Stavros had made for himself every afternoon at 4, and she sat with me for an hour. We did not talk much. Tarpon Springs in late September is, well, it is hot, but the air starts to thin out by 5 in the afternoon, and the light over the canal turns the color of old gold leaf in the way it has been turning every late September of my life. After Sophia left, I sat in the chair by myself for another hour. I thought about my son. I want to be honest about something. Andrew has not called me since the hearing. It has been 6 weeks now. He has not called. He has not driven over. There has been no Christmas card, although Christmas is still 6 weeks away, and Andrew has until this year always sent a Christmas card. I do not know what he is doing. Anna tells me he and Laura have separated. Laura has moved out of the house in Tampa. The disciplinary council has filed a formal complaint against the Tampa attorney who drafted the petition. The attorney has been suspended pending investigation. I do not know what Andrew does in the evenings now. I do not know if he sleeps. I am his mother. I think about it.
2 weeks ago, on a Friday afternoon, a manila envelope arrived in my mailbox. It was addressed to me in Andrew's handwriting. There was no return address. I opened it on the back porch. Inside the envelope was a single sheet of paper. It was a copy of the affidavit Laura had signed, the clinical one, the one alleging 18 months of cognitive decline. In the margin, in Andrew's handwriting, Andrew prints in capitals, the same way Stavros did, although he stopped doing it when he changed his name in 2003 and only started again in his 30s. In the margin, my son had written, "Mom, I am sorry. I am not asking you to forgive me. A." That was all. I sat on the back porch with the affidavit and the marginal note for a long time. I did not call him. I did not write back. I put the affidavit in the manila envelope. I put the manila envelope in the top drawer of Stavros's old dresser, which I have not been able to bring myself to clean out in 4 years, and which is now home to 1 envelope from my husband and 1 envelope from my son. I want you to understand, I have not decided what to do. I do not know if I will ever decide. That is one of the things I am living with.
I want to tell you about Marisol Reyes. Marisol still works at Tarpon Springs General. She is, as of last month, the cardiac unit's nurse manager. She got the promotion in October. She told me about it on the phone because she calls me every 2 weeks to check on my recovery, which she is not paid to do and which she is not technically allowed to do under hospital fraternization policy, but which she does anyway. She came over for coffee on the 2nd Sunday of October. She drove from Tampa, where she lives. She brought a box of pastelitos from a Cuban bakery on Bayshore Boulevard. We sat on the back porch, the same porch where Stavros had read the Tampa Bay Times on the afternoon he had had a stroke. And we drank coffee, small Greek coffee for me, Cuban coffee that Marisol had brought her own mocha pot for almost 3 hours. She told me about her grandmother, the one who had lost the house in Camagüey to her brother's son in 1963. She told me her grandmother had never recovered. She said, "Mrs. Demetriou, my grandmother died in 1991. She never spoke to her brother again. She never spoke to her brother's son. She never went back to Cuba." She paused. "When I heard your son in the corridor on Tuesday, I want you to know I made a decision in the next 30 seconds. "What was the decision?" I said. She said that whatever was happening in this room with this Greek lady was not going to be what happened to my Yaya. Not if I could help it. Not in my hospital. I did not know what to say to that. I said, "Marisol, thank you." She said, "Mrs. Demetriou, tell me about Stavros." I told her. For 2 hours, I told her about Stavros, about Simi, about the boats, about the strip mall on US 19, about the cathedral, about Father Theodoros and Anna Karayanis and Sophia Papas, and the 8 years my husband had spent, not telling me, protecting me. When I finished, Marisol sat for a long time. She said, "He must have loved you very much." I said, "Marisol, I don't know if I can explain to you what it means to be a Greek wife. We are not. We are not. I am going to stop and find the right word. We are not romantic the way Americans mean romantic. We do not say I love you over the breakfast table. We do not buy each other roses on the 14th of February. We argue about the bills. We argue about the children. We argue about how many olives go in the salad. I paused. But we plan for each other, Marisol. 48 years. She said, I think I understand. The kindest thing my husband ever did for me was something I did not know about while he was alive. He sat in Anya Karianis' office on Kennedy Boulevard in Tampa once a month for 11 months in 2017. And he came home, and he poured me coffee, and he kissed me on the forehead, and he did not tell me what he was doing. He did it because his brother Nico had been through it, and because his nephew Manolis had been the kind of son who took the house, and because Stavros had decided, watching all of that in 2002, that he was not going to let his wife sit in a hospital bed in Tarpon Springs at the age of 73, 3 days after a heart surgery, listening to her own son tell a nurse in the corridor that she was halfway gone. He had built the wall before there was a fire. I want to say something to anyone listening who has a husband who is the quiet kind, who does not say much, who does not buy roses, who balances the checkbook on Friday nights with a small Greek coffee and a pen and a calculator. You have to understand something. He may be writing the wall while you are not looking. He may be the kindest man you will ever meet. He just may not know how to say it.
I am 73. I had a heart surgery in September. I am, by my own count, recovered enough to walk to the cathedral on Sundays again, although Father Theodoros has told me to take the car for at least 2 more months, and I have, at his request, agreed. I sit on the back porch in the evenings. I drink the small Greek coffee that Stavros used to make for himself. The strip mall on US 19 is still in the trust. The trust still pays me, every month, the way Stavros set it up to. I do not need the money. Well, I would have needed the money if Andrew had succeeded, I will say that. Sophia comes over twice a week with spanakopita. Father Theodoros comes by every other Saturday. Marisol drives down from Tampa once a month. Anna sends me a Christmas card. I have, for the first time in 4 years, started writing letters. I am writing to my niece Eleni in Simi, who I have not seen in 19 years. I am writing to my sister Maria in New Jersey, who I have not visited in 11. And I am writing, this one is harder, to my son Andrew, although I have not yet sent any of the letters I have written. I do not yet know what I will do with the letters to Andrew. That is a question for next year. This is the question I can answer. I am still here. I am still in this house. The strip mall is still mine. My husband saved me before there was anything to save me from, and I did not know it. And now I do. If you have ever wondered whether the quiet men in your life are loving you in some way you have not noticed, well, they might be. Some of them are. Some of them are sitting in lawyers' offices on Wednesday mornings in 2017 and not telling you anything because they do not want to scare you and because they have decided for themselves that they are going to handle it. My husband stayed alive in the paperwork after he was gone. That is the kindest thing anyone has ever done for me. I want you to know I am going to use a Greek phrase here because I have to. Agapimo. It means my love. Stavros said it to me 48 years worth of mornings. He said it to me on the morning he had the stroke. He said it to me in his sleep the night before he died, although he was not aware he was saying it. He is still saying it. Through the trust, through the letter Anna brought to my hospital room, through Father Theodoros, who knew but could not tell me, through every monthly check I receive from a strip mall on US 19 that my husband bought in 1984 with my father. He is still saying it. Stavros. I want to say something to the people listening to this story. You may be a daughter whose mother is recovering from surgery.
Or a son who has been having quiet conversations about your mother's affairs with a financial advisor in another county. Or an older woman who has signed 2 of 4 documents at her kitchen table and has been telling herself for months that she was foolish to refuse the other 2. If you are the daughter, please call your mother today, not to ask if she is fine. Ask whether anyone has been pressuring her about paperwork. If you are the son, well, you know what I want to say to you. If you are the older woman, please understand. The voice in your stomach that told you not to sign the 3rd document was right. Your husband, if you had a good husband, may have been preparing you for this for years without telling you. Call your family lawyer, open the file, see what is there. There may be more than you think. I will tell you one more thing. My husband used to say, in Greek, "θα δούμε." It means, we will see. He said it when he did not want to argue. He said it when he had decided something and was not going to discuss it. And he said it the morning he came home from his first meeting with Anna in 2017, and I asked him when he had been. Θα δούμε. We will see. He saw 48 years and 8 years ahead. If this story meant something to you, please leave a comment and tell me where you are watching from. I read them, everyone. If you have a mother, call her. She may have been waiting longer than you think.